In the opening scene, Michelle, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, gazes out her window while engaged in a heated phone argument. She hastily packs her belongings and departs from her home. As she drives away from the city, Michelle receives a call from her fiancé, Ben, voiced by Bradley Cooper, but she only allows him to express his remorse before ending the call. When Ben tries again, Michelle briefly takes her eyes off the road and collides with a truck, causing her car to veer into a ditch. Upon regaining consciousness, Michelle finds herself in a small room with a head injury and a saline drip connected to her arm. To her dismay, she discovers that her leg is chained to a pipe. In an attempt to seek help, she pulls her phone closer using the saline drip pole, but finds that there is no signal. Shortly after, a man named Howard, portrayed by John Goodman, enters the room, claiming to have rescued her and insisting on keeping her safe. He provides her with wooden crutches to aid her mobility due to her injured leg, advising her to practice using those before departing from the room. Michelle carves the tip of one of the crutches into a weapon to use against Howard. When Howard returns, she attempts to stab him with the modified crutch but fails. Howard subdues her and explains that he brought her to the underground bunker due to an attack on the surface. Taking Michelle to the airlock, Howard shows her the apparently normal outside, but Michelle recognizes Howard's truck with red paint as the one that hit her. As Howard addresses someone off-screen, Michelle discovers Emmett, a younger man with a broken arm. Emmett, who appears friendlier than Howard, explains that he willingly helped build the bunker and describes witnessing the attack and sustaining his injury. Howard insists that Michelle and Emmett join him for dinner, attempting to create a familial atmosphere. During the meal, Michelle engages in what seems like flirtatious conversation with Emmett, prompting Howard to react angrily. He warns them against such behavior. When Howard is not looking, Michelle takes his keys. A commotion above distracts everyone, allowing Michelle to strike Howard with a beer bottle. She then makes a run for the airlock. As Howard pleads with her not to leave, a car arrives and a middle-aged woman with a deformed skin infection, Suzanne Cryer, begs to be let inside. Howard implores Michelle not to admit the woman. The woman becomes agitated and begins banging her head against the glass door. Fearing the possibility of a chemical weapons attack, Michelle begins to heed Howard's warnings. He apologizes for his earlier behavior and confesses to damaging her car. Howard then instructs Michelle to tend to the wound on his head from the bottle. The trio grows closer over the next few days and begins working together like a true family in the underground bunker. Howard allows Michelle to borrow clothes that belong to his daughter Megan, whom he lost. He shares a picture of Megan with Michelle. Michelle and Emmett also form a bond, with Emmett revealing his missed opportunity to play college sports due to fear of leaving town. Michelle recalls witnessing a young girl being abused by her father at a hardware store and regrets not taking action, given her own troubled past. When the air filtration system malfunctions, Michelle is the only one small enough to access the vents and reach the filtration room. After resetting the unit, she discovers a ladder leading outside beneath a window, with "help" etched on it in blood. Michelle finds 2 bloody earrings, which she recognizes from Megan's picture. Showing the picture to Emmett, he identifies the girl as Brittany, a former classmate who went missing. They realize that Howard poses a threat and they must find a way to escape. Michelle and Emmett pilfer Howard's tools and commence building an improvised biohazard suit and gas mask. Upon discovering the stolen tools, Howard retrieves a container of pyloric acid to dissolve them. He demands an explanation for their attempt to take his gun. Emmett confesses that he did it to earn Michelle's respect, mirroring the respect she has for Howard. Howard pardons Emmett and subsequently shoots him in the head. Michelle completes the suit and attempts to flee. Howard apprehends her, but she pushes the vat of acid towards him, causing him to slip and fall onto it face first. She climbs over him and heads for the exit. The acid eats through an electrical wire, igniting a fire. Howard pursues Michelle, and she topples a shelf onto him. She navigates through the vents towards the filtration room. Howard punctures the vents with a knife and seizes Michelle as she reaches the end. She forcefully slams his hand, causing it to rip off. The fire begins to spread through the bunker. Michelle dons the suit and gas mask and prepares to venture outside. On the surface, the sun is shining and all is tranquil. She spots Howard's truck and approaches it. Accidentally tearing her homemade hazmat suit, she hastily repairs it with duct tape. Upon hearing and seeing birds overhead, she removes the mask to breathe in the fresh air. Climbing atop Howard's truck to survey her surroundings, she notices what she believes to be a helicopter in the distance. The bunker suddenly explodes, catching the attention of the craft. As it gets closer, Michelle realizes it's a massive alien hovercraft. It deposits something on the ground and then veers off. Michelle jumps into the truck and frantically searches for keys, but finds none. She then remembers the car and rushes towards it. She attempts to get into the car, triggering the alarm and causing the lights to flash. The noises and lights attract an alien creature on the ground, prompting Michelle to flee back to the wooden shed to hide. Peering out, she sees the alien creature lifting the car before attacking the shed. Michelle searches for the car keys on the deceased woman. Just as she finds the keys, the alien begins poking its head through a flap door of the barn. Michelle points the key fob towards the car and deactivates the alarm. The alien retreats from the barn. She then crawls out through the flap door and runs towards the nearby farmhouse, pursued by the alien creature. As she nears the front of the house, the giant alien craft appears behind it and the ground creature flees. The craft slowly ascends and moves towards Michelle, emitting a toxic green gas. She returns to the truck and puts on the mask. The alien spacecraft approaches her and lifts the truck, bringing it closer to its mouth. Michelle grabs a magazine, lighter, and whiskey bottle from the truck to create a Molotov cocktail. She ignites it and seizes the opportunity to throw it into the creature's mouth. It explodes and drops the truck, which crashes to the ground. Michelle, still alive, returns to the car. With the keys, she gets in, starts it, and drives down the road. She hits Howard's mailbox, labeled Trefoil Field. Michelle turns on the radio and learns that we have retaken the southern seaboard. The announcer states that those seeking refuge from the alien attacks can head to Baton Rouge, while those with combat or medical expertise are needed in Houston. Finally, Michelle reaches a sign directing people straight to Baton Rouge or left to Houston. She chooses to go left. While driving, she sees a larger alien hovercraft hidden in the clouds.